like we can for the next 2 hours. We're going to be giving away a ton of stuff. We also have our fall festival coming up tonight. I meant to mention that last week, and I actually forgot about it, but from 6 to 9 p.m., at the Harvest Moon Fun Farm, we've rented the entire farm. So if you want to come and you want tickets, we can add you to our list. Just text FALL, F-A-L-L, to 813-377-2775. Again, text FALL, 813-377-2775. These tickets would cost you $15 if you were to buy them individually on a different night. But again, we've rented the entire farm for the evening.
Is it a touch or no touch scare?
It's not any of that.
It's not?
No. So what they do is they do a different corn maze every year. I actually don't even know what the corn maze is going to be this year, but I know last year was the WQYK logo. So that was the corn maze was in that shape last year. So they have a new one this year. I'm sure they do every year, and a lot of people like to do the flashlight corn maze, which is where you can go through the corn maze with flashlight because it's dark. So that's why we rent the farm from 6 to 10, or 6 to 9. If you want to go through in the daylight hours, you can. We're going to have all kinds of festivities out there. There's a petting zoo, there's tug of war, playground, games, treehouse, there's a ball zone, a lot of fun for the kids and the adults. Conk the Crow, there's a huge bounce pillow, by the way. This is like adult size, so adults can totally jump on it.
A bounce pillow?
Fun. Yes, it's like a big bounce house, but it's bigger and it's open and it's a huge bounce pillow.
So a trampoline?
My whole team jumped on it. And not a trampoline, it's like inflatable trampoline.
What kind of insurance do you need for that, Adam?
I don't know, but I'm sure they have it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of props out there too as well, a lot of fall props, and our photographer will be there for the first 2 hours because obviously it's too dark after 8 o'clock. But come get a family picture, come have some fun. Again, $60 entertainment for the night. We've rented the entire farm. Just text FALL, F-A-L-L, to 813-377-2775. 813-377-2775. We'll hit a couple little reminders up during the rest of the show. We'd love to meet you guys. We're real people, so come on out and say hello. And Leo, welcome. Good morning.
Hey, Leo came with Bill Engineering and Inspection.
And Adam Talley with Talley Insurance.
And, of course, we're going to introduce our guest, no stranger to Tampa Home Talk. Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Jill Witecki. She is the Director of Marketing and Community Relation for A Nightmare on Franklin Street. And she's Tampa Theater, right?
This time of year, aside from all those other titles, I am the official ghost host at Tampa's most haunted
Ghost
theater.
host, I love that.
The ghost host. I can totally see that. So she's the ghost host, and of course, Halloween's your favorite holiday. We were talking about that before the show. You've been programming the Historic and Haunted Theaters A Nightmare on Franklin Street series for the past 7 years.
I can't believe it's been 7 years, and you're talking about this fall festival tonight. I've got 2 little girls. I would love to bring them, but I do this to myself every year. I plan these huge Halloween events, and then I don't have time to go to anything else.
Tonight's your first night, right?
Tonight is our first night.
Oh my gosh. So tell me all about the fun. Like, what's starting? Tonight's the first night, and it's like nonstop through Halloween, right?
We have 42 separate events over the next 14 days. So we start tonight, we run all the way through Halloween. We kick it off tonight with a live show. That's something we're doing a little bit different this year. We're a movie palace. We've been around since 1926. We always do a huge lineup of great horror movies, family films, a little bit of scary, a little bit of gory, a little bit of funny. But this year we're adding a lot more live elements to the series.
Fun.
And so we're starting
So live element during Halloween month, what does that mean?
It just means that, Tampa Theater is the movie palace, but we have a great stage. It's a great space for live entertainment. We've been doing a lot more live shows this year, and so we're incorporating some live shows into Halloween. And that kicks off tonight with the Last Podcast on the Left. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Last Podcast, guys, but
I'm not.
They are anything scary or spooky. They talk about it on their podcast. So they do some horror type stuff, monsters and zombies. They do true crime. They do some murder mystery type stuff. They're just everything dark and macabre. They talk
So
about
they're all about the Halloween stuff.
all about the Halloween, but they do it all year long.
Yeah.
It's just that this time of year they take their show on the road. And they do a live podcast that tours. So we've got them tonight. It is nearly sold out. There are just a couple of tickets
Wow.
left. So if you are a Last Podcast fan, get your tickets right now at tampatheater.org/nightmare because they are going to be gone by tonight. And then tomorrow night, This is the one I'm excited about. We were all talking about our youth a little bit before we went on air, and back in my youth, I was part of a floor cast for Rocky Horror Picture Show. I was a Janet for many years. It's the only one I was suited for, but I would, every Saturday night we would go up to the Hillsborough 8 when it was
Oh my gosh, yes,
right?
I remember that.
And we would be part of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Now, if you're not familiar with Rocky, it's celebrating its 45th anniversary this year. It has been showing literally consistently week in and week out for 45 years on screens around the country.
So this is a great example when you say a live on-screen film with live interaction.
Exactly.
Right? Rocky Horror Picture Show.
And it always has been. It has become this event where people go to theaters all over the country at midnight, and the movie is on the screen, and then there's a live shadow cast in front of the screen that acts out the movie along with the people on the screen, and the audience gets involved. There's lines that you shout back at the screen. As they're talking, you shout back. It's a call and response type thing. And we've done that for years as part of Nightmare. But this year, what makes it truly special, and for dyed-in-the-wool fans like myself, I'm geeking out just a little bit, that we've got Barry Bostwick, who played the original Brad in the film. He's done a ton of work. He's got an incredible career, but this is the role that he's really remembered for.
How exciting
for better or
is
for
that?
worse.
How exciting.
So he's going to be down. He's going to do the introductions to both screenings. We're doing an early screening and a midnight screening, and he's going to be there for both of them. So those are the big things this weekend. And then we were talking about being longtime Tampa people. You're a Tampa native.
I was born and raised here, yep.
So you remember WTOG's Creature Features with
Yes,
Dr. Paul Bear.
I do, yes.
Well, the original Dr. Paul unfortunately passed away years ago, but before he did, he named a successor. So there is still a Dr. Paul lurking for all of us in Tampa.
Wow.
And he is going to be at Tampa Theater on Sunday, bringing back that original Creature Features series live on our screen.
I remember that, and you know what else I remember? The little head on the TV for Guavaween. Do you remember that? And it would say, 3 more days of Guavaween in University. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
I don't know what ever happened to that, like why we don't have it anymore, but...
Well, I don't think we have Guavaween anymore.
No, that's what I'm
it has
saying.
evolved into something new.
Pat probably knows the answer to that, I would say. Do you know the answer to that, Pat? Why
He's off getting
Guavaween's not
donuts.
around anymore?
And a hush falls over the pat.
You don't know either? You know everything.
Well, not everything.
Everything about, like, Tampa and what's happening.
Hillsborough 8.
So if you're listening and you know what happened at Guavaween, I would be really curious to know, because I haven't seen it in years.
Text Guava to 813-377-2775.
Good. Or you can just call in. We'll give away the on-air number here.
Lava
in just a minute.
boosters? What?
Yeah. It was a thing. Well, you guys, you're not from here.
Well, no, I knew of Guavaween. It morphed from a street festival into a concert, and then I heard they wanted to tax the floats too much, so the parade piece dropped off completely, so it was just a concert. Then one of the venues shut down or changed hands.
So that's what you think happened?
So it just kind of
Evolved into that.
devolved.
Yeah, devolved for sure.
Leo said exactly what I didn't want to say. Yeah, it just got too out of control down there, and I don't think Ybor wanted it anymore.
It was definitely crazy. Like, it was wild.
I do know that Ybor has an event, though. And I believe it's something about the Festival of the Pumpkin King. So they do still have a party and event. It's just not Guavaween anymore.
Yeah, it's called the Fantastic.
Yeah, aren't you the mayor of Ybor?
No. There's a mayor of Ybor and a mayor of Gabor down there. I know them both, but neither one of them are me.
Wait, I didn't even know that was a thing. Really?
What, the mayor of Gabor?
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. Ybor is split into with a wall, an invisible wall between the Ybor and the Gabor Ybor.
Did not know that.
You get jello shots when you try and cross the wall.
Okay, good work. Good work. Man, I remember a lot of little fun things about Tampa. Pat probably remembers tracks, and
I remember tracks.
Absolutely. Ybor City, everybody used to go there.
You know, Leo is the mayor of the castle.
No, the castle has a senator. It's not.
And he's still there. Castle, is that still there?
The castle.
The castle's very much still
And
there.
the senator is still there, reigning over the second floor of the castle.
That tells you how much I go out. I did actually meet my husband in Ybor City.
They do a steam-
I married my husband in Ybor City.
Look at that.
I'm proud of you guys.
All right, this is Tampa Home Talk, our on-air number to call in. We got an awesome little ticket arrangement we're going to give you.
This is awesome. I want it. I want to call in and go.
888-404-1010. 4 tickets, and we'll tell you what all's in there. Call in 888-404-1010. 404-1010. We'll be back in a minute.
Good morning. Welcome back. This is Tampa Home Talk, your spooky edition. Leo Kane here with Adam Talley. Adam Talley's getting ready to scare us next segment with his insurance tip of the week.
Hopefully not, but yes.
Make sure you have it. And then we've got Katrina here. This is always my favorite shows where we get to do spooky things and talk about spooky places.
Well, it's so out of the norm for us, but it's fun. We love to do
I
it.
love spooky.
So we have a winner for our tickets, Pat.
Yes, you do.
All right, so I'll tell you what, we will give our winner the choice between, what are you offering, Jill? Let's talk about what they can have a choice between 2 Screamageddon tickets or
A family 4-pack of tickets for our Nightmare on Franklin Street series. So these tickets are good for all of the films in the series. Your choice of 18 different films over the next 14 days.
Even the ones that are sold out?
Oh, that's true. We've got one that's sold out.
What? I didn't know about it sold out.
Saturday, we're showing Hocus Pocus, and, despite the Facebook comments, yeah, you can watch it on TV, you can watch it on streaming, you
It's
can
not
watch it
even
for
the point.
free. Your living room doesn't look like ours.
Yeah,
Your
that's
living
true.
room was not built in 1926, probably, unless you sold them a beautiful historic
His
home.
was, though.
Yours was.
Mine was 1924,
Yeah, but does it
actually.
have 1,200 seats?
oh, you're out of room, darn it.
It might have 12, though. It might have 12.
You can see 12, but for
Yours
the
sells
ants,
out early.
for ants, they can all line up. You can get 1,200 ants.
But no, at Tampa Theater, you're coming for the experience, not just for the movie. So that one is sold out, but we have 17 other films, everything from stuff that was popular this year, Us and The Dead Don't Die, which were 2 of the top horror films this year.
Wow.
We've got one of my personal favorites, Seven, if
Seven
you
is
remember the
great.
Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt film.
Is that scary? What is that? I don't watch a lot of TV.
It's more of a thriller, I would
When they
think.
get to the end and ask what's in the box,
What's in the
just
box?
close your eyes.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the
That's a
tip.
good meme right there.
We've got a couple of great movies based on books. We've got a whole day of movies based on books. So we've got Goosebumps from the R.L. Stine books. We've got Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, the old Alvin Schwartz books. And then a lot of people don't realize that I Know What You Did Last Summer was based on a Lois Duncan young adult novel. So we've got all of those coming. Oxford Exchange is going to be there selling the books that those are based on.
Fun.
It's the only bookstore left in the whole Tampa area.
Is
Is
it?
it really?
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful bookstore.
There's a Books A Million, I think, in the
There
Brandon
is.
Mall.
Going back to Brandon. It
No, it
always
turned
comes back
into
to
a
Brandon.
spirit this time of year.
What about a Barnes and Noble in Wiregrass?
No, that's a spirit as well.
It's gone too.
Yeah.
Spirit
Tells you how
Halloween.
often I go to the mall.
Just picking up the scraps.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So do we have Lisa hanging still?
Of course you do. Say good morning, Lisa.
Good morning.
Hello. Hi, friends. How are you?
Good. Thanks for listening. Would you like the 4-pack of tickets to Tampa Theater, which I know you've been to many times, or do you want 2 Screamageddon?
I'd actually like to do the 4-pack.
Okay.
Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that.
4-pack it is.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see Hocus Pocus on the theater.
There you go. We'll get you reserved, and Pat will get all your information, and we'll make sure that you get this nice little. There's M&Ms in here.
Oh, there's M&M's.
Raisinets,
there's
Twizzlers. It's
There's all
awesome.
kinds of good stuff in
It's
there.
a bucket of popcorn. You can get free refills.
No, but that's a great idea.
There you go.
There's also some information in here about Phantasmagoria, which is the other live show that I'd love to talk a little bit more about.
Oh,
later.
that would be great. Lisa, thanks for listening, and we'll be here for a couple hours, so continue listening on.
Thank you.
Okay, so what's the other one?
Yes, the thing I can't pronounce.
Phantasmagoria. So this is, I was introduced to this troupe last year, and we've been working for the past year to get them to Tampa as part of the series. They are a steampunk storytelling troupe. So they're based.
Sold.
This will be fun. This is
Exactly,
fun.
that's
That
that.
has Leo written all over
It
it.
does.
They are based out of Orlando. They've got troops in Atlanta. They've got a troop in St. Louis.
awesome.
I would do
they
that too.
travel all over the place, and they've been doing this main stage Halloween show. They do stuff all year long, but they've done their Halloween show for 10 years. So this is Phantasmagoria X Reckoning. This is their 10-year anniversary. And in all the years that they have been touring this beautiful show all over the East, they've never been to Tampa.
Wow.
So for the first time, Tampa Theater is bringing them to Tampa. It's an 18-piece cast. They have these gorgeous costumes, and through song and dance and projection and stage combat and acrobatics and puppetry, they tell classic horror tales. And we're talking like Grimm's fairy tales, Edgar Allan Poe, old fables from Europe, things like that. And it is an all-ages show. So, the youngest kids maybe not, but we're saying ages 8 and up. This is a perfect Halloween show, especially if the weather's not cooperating or if you're not as into the haunted houses and things like that.
I hope the weather cooperates tonight for our fall festival.
Oh, my goodness.
What about that tropical storm?
I don't know. We got a little bit of time, don't we? It's going to roll in tomorrow.
It's going to roll in tomorrow. Actually, it's going to be really wet.
We need a small window, like 6 to 8 p.m. We'll take that.
Exactly.
So we have tickets for that, by the way, as well. You can
For the
text
hurricane?
all hours. No, for our fall festival.
We're sending you back up to Pensacola so you can be there for landfall at 1 a.m.
You lamers never want to come to our stuff, but I'm going to send you pictures. I'm going to spam you. I'm going to spam you all night, pictures and videos from our fall festival.
Out of town. Is Ybor out of town compared to...
I know, right?
I was supposed to drive to New Orleans right after this show.
Oh, that's
And you're
problematic.
We're
not?
now going to Chattanooga. We had to avoid the storm.
Seriously.
Well, we were going to go see Sophie Tucker, which is a band, in New Orleans, but I guess the venue burned down, so they moved the show from Saturday to Sunday, and because they needed to change venues, and the storm was in our direct driving path, so the universe was telling us not to go.
Wow. So what is Sophie Tucker?
It's EDM style music. There's just 2 people in the band, Sophie and Tucker.
Okay.
They do fun, happy dancey style EDM music.
Okay.
Really good. And she's Portuguese trained, so a lot of her lyrics are not in English.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah, very good
It's
stuff.
unique.
How New Orleans is that, though? That the venue burns down, so we're going to delay the show by 24 hours and just put it somewhere else.
Yeah, pretty much.
They are good people up there.
They'll figure it out, that's for sure. There's a lot to be said for that. So, again, if you want tickets to our fall festival, just call or text us at 813-377-2775. We'll get you added to the list. 813-377-2775. We're going to have a lot of fun there tonight. So, as far as yours, because you have so many movies and stuff left, what's the one that's not available? Because there's one, right?
There's
Not
one.
available.
Hocus Pocus, unfortunately, Lisa, is sold out. That sells out quickly every year, but all of the other ones are still available.
Okay. Awesome. Which one do you think will sell out next?
Halloween on Halloween.
Halloween on Halloween usually doesn't sell out just
Really?
because there's so much other stuff to do.
See, Adam, you're going to that.
But-
And it's a school night.
And it is
yeah.
a school night. But I'll tell you the one that is probably going to sell out because every time Dr. Stephen Ball comes to visit us, it sells out. And that is on Friday the 25th. Tampa Theater was built in 1926 as a silent movie palace. And we like to go back to our silent roots a couple of times a year. So Dr. Stephen Ball comes and visits us from St. Louis. He is one of the only organists in the country who can still write and perform a score for a silent film.
So describe what that is for the person listening, because I'm not even 100% sure that I'm on the same page with that. So,
Well, back in the early days of cinema, of course, the film did not come with a soundtrack. So films were accompanied by a live orchestra, or in some cases, an organist who could play an organ like the Tampa Theater has, a Mighty Wurlitzer theater organ, and provide all of the soundtrack, all of the special effects, all of the little bells and whistles, literally, that would accompany these films. So it is the
he's
closest
playing
thing
with
you-
it.
Exactly.
Okay.
He is sitting up there for the entire film
That is awesome.
and playing
That does
along
sound
with the
awesome.
movie.
There's just someone there with little note cards to tell you what the lyrics are?
It is not a sing-along. We do a lot of those too, but
this one's
is
not
a
scary,
sing-along.
right?
Well, this is the 1923 Lon Chaney version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Okay.
So it's a beautiful film. It is a monster movie, but it's scary, but it's 1923
right,
scary.
Yeah,
So
can handle that.
exactly. But Dr. Ball sits up there and he says his greatest compliment is when you forget he's there. That he is sitting there and playing every note that you're going to hear. And I tell you, it is the closest thing to time travel you'll
Okay,
ever
I'll take
experience.
request for tickets for that, okay?
And these tickets are good for that as well?
The running joke that I've never been to the Tampa Theater.
We've been on your
she's
show for
offered me
years,
so many
and
times.
you've
I
never
know.
come down.
I promise I will come this year before the end of October.
Come on the 25th then and see the silent film.
I will do that.
That sounds awesome.
There, Leo wants to come too. You can hook us up, okay? We'll give you some more plugs. And if you got tickets that don't sell, we'll before the end of your thing, we'll give them away all month. Get people into Tampa Theater.
Perfect.
All right, and we have someone else that has actually joined us as well during the break. I'm going to introduce him really quick, Mr. Bill, right?
Morning.
Yes, welcome to the show. Sorry, we sent you to the wrong address there. My apologies for that. We're glad you're here.
I was there at 7:20.
You're just in time. Really, you're perfect. So, and you are with Spookathon?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to talk about Spookathon in just a couple minutes, probably right after we come back on the break. Anything else you want to talk about with Tampa Theater and A Nightmare on Franklin Street?
I will talk as long as
I know, right?
Ghost tours. I want to know about the ghost tours.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a good question because you get that a lot, right? Like, is a place really haunted?
It is. I have seen and experienced enough there to make me believe that it is truly haunted. Now, every good old theater has a couple of good old ghosts, but we have a collection of stories that has grown and evolved over the years into this amazing hour-and-a-half long tour where we go all through the building. We tell the stories of 6 of our ghosts, and again, these sell out. In fact,
I would do that. When do you do that?
every day. In
You
fact,
do.
I'm going to drive back to the theater after I'm done with you guys here and lead my first one at 11:30 this morning.
Oh, wow.
That's going to be awesome.
That is cool. All right, you're listening to Tampa Home Talk. We've got an exciting 2 hours planned for you guys. Stick around. We'll be back in just a minute. Right after the break, we're going to talk to Mr. Bill Donati.
Yes.
And he is with Spookathon. We can't wait to talk to you right when we come back after the break. And stick around. We're going to give away some tickets to Screamageddon. Back in just a minute.
Back to Tampa Home Talk. This is Adam Talley with Talley Insurance, and before we get back to the spooky stuff, I want to talk about our insurance tip of the day.
Yes.
And that is going to be
Yeah, we'll get so excited.
I know, and that's going to be that we are very much still in hurricane season. So for those people that don't know, there is a little cyclone out in the Gulf right now.
Is that affecting insurance binding at this point?
Oh yeah, I would
Oh, my
expect
gosh,
when I get back to
really?
the office, I will not be able to bind anything.
I'm
when I get
surprised
back.
you're here. No wonder you want to run out and not into the second hour. You got some things to bind.
Absolutely. So it's.
Can you say my building insurance policy expires next week? Maybe I should give you a check now.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. That's already been taken care of. But just so people know, I mean, it goes until November. So if you think we're safe,
I think right around this time of year is when people don't think about it as much.
You don't, and then you think about flood insurance when the hurricane's coming, but there's a 30-day wait on that. So it's not too late to get it now for next year, but just keep that in mind.
Well, what's the official date that it ends, hurricane season?
I believe it's November 1st, but I could be wrong. I know it goes till
That's what I was
November.
thinking. Yeah, so technically you won't get it this season.
We'll
We'll be waiting for next year. It's in place after 30 days. It's
Right.
just hurricane related.
It just won't help you for this one, basically.
You're such a bearer of good news.
I know. Well, we're talking spooky stuff, so.
Yeah, so basically get that in place and don't wait.
Yeah.
Don't wait.
Or if you need a review of your policy, now's a good time.
So, and we don't talk about this much, but it's probably worth mentioning when a policy lapses. Mm-hmm. How does that affect when they go to get insurance again?
Oh, typically, if it's been less than 30 days, most of the carriers will take you. Now, we do have a few carriers that'll do it a little bit longer than that, and then we have some that'll do it if you don't have any prior insurance. Now, the ones that'll take you when you don't have any prior insurance, the cost is definitely... You're putting yourself in a little box, right?
Yeah.
Because then we only have a few options for you, and most of those options, they're going to charge you a fee for not having prior insurance.
The goal is to
too.
switch out of that, right, within a year?
The goal is to, suck it up for a year, take your lumps, and then after that, we'll put you someplace better where we can, where you have more options.
Anyway,
I know.
call Adam. He'll hook you up.
I'm here to
explain
help
all
you.
that stuff and talk about what BOP is.
Well, and that's why we have to have so many carriers, because there's so many different things that are out there that every carrier has their own little niche, so you got to have the options for the people.
So real quick, if you want tickets to our fall festival tonight for the Corn Maze, the Petting Zoo, Tug of War, Playground, Games, Treehouse, Ball Zone, Conk the Crow, Huge Bounce Pillow, Photographer.
Conk the Crow.
I don't know what's on the list. I don't know what it is. We'll find out.
This is your
We'll talk
event. You
about
don't
it
know
next
what Conk
week.
the Crow
I
is?
think it's new from last year, so I
Okay.
don't remember it. Anyway, just text fall to 813-377-2775. We can give you 4 tickets if you want them. If you got a family of 5 like me, we can make that happen too. 813-377-2775. And we bought pumpkins for all of our people. So RSVP, 1 per family. 813-377-2775.
Mini pie pumpkins?
No, they're the medium jacks, but they can be pie.
They can be pie.
Anything can be pie.
Which I actually make that every year. Homemade pumpkin pie, pumpkin bread.
I love
I'll have to
pumpkin
hook
pie.
you guys
Yeah,
up.
if you're making pumpkin pie,
Pumpkins.
if you're making pumpkin pie, I'm sold.
You're
I'm
in?
I'm
Okay. All right. So our next guest is Mr. Bill Donati, he's a retired salesman for 15 years. He's been involved in actually building rideable miniature railroads, and the locomotives are actually powered by gasoline, electric, or steam. They can pull an average of 25 passengers. Currently, he's involved in and working on the Grand Concourse Railroad, located in the Concourse facility in Shady Hills, same complex as Safety Town here in Pasco. You're a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization dedicated to teaching safety of trains to kids.
Yes.
Awesome. And so does that relate at all to Spookathon, or are those different?
No, the Spookathon is incorporated in this. We do this once a year. We do the Spookathon, we do Christmas, we do Easter egg hunts.
Okay.
For trains.
So very, very kid-friendly event.
Yes.
Right?
Nice.
And so tell me a little bit about it. Like, how much does that normally cost? What's the hours?
The Spookathon will go Friday and Saturday, weather permitting. I don't know about this weekend, but a train ride is 8 to 10 minutes long, and it's $6 per person. Children 12 months or younger are free. Or you can take the trail. We have a haunted trail you walk through. That's also $6. Or you can do both for $10. And the trail, you can go as many times as you like. Next weekend, we're going to add 2 other venues. Safety Town is controlled by the Pasco County Sheriff's Department. It's a miniature town for children to learn safety. They're going to have a free trunk or treat, so the children can get all the
So Halloween, they're doing trunk or treat?
trunk or treat,
Okay.
and we're going to have a fun house. And a fun house, I can't tell you much about it yet, but it's going to be bounce house and a few extra things for the kids. That will also be $6, or you could have all 3 for $15.
Or we have some tickets to give away, right?
And I have some tickets to give away.
Awesome. And what are we giving away this morning?
You're going to give away 10 tickets each for two people.
Okay.
And they're worth $10 a piece, or a total of $20.
Okay.
Okay, and they're good this weekend, or will be next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay, great. Let's do that now, shall we?
Yeah.
All right, so call in 888-404-1010. We'll give away 4-pack. We'll give away 2 of those and a pair of tickets for Spookathon. Thanks to Mr. Baldonati. Appreciate that very much. Our live call-in number here, talks about George, is 888-404-1010. Just call 888-404-1010. We'll give you some tickets to Spookathon. 888-404-1010. What else can people find there? Are there food menus? Is there vendors, anything else?
The Satama, which is also a nonprofit, will be selling hot dogs and hamburgers and sausages and drinks and things of that nature.
How long ago did that nonprofit start, just out of curiosity?
How long is the nonprofit?
Yeah, the one for Pasco Safety Town, like that one. Have you been involved with that one for a long time?
Yeah, I believe it's been there for 25 years. I
Okay.
believe.
I didn't grow up in Pasco. I grew up in Tampa, so I wasn't familiar with
Reverend
it.
Brandon, as we were talking about before the show.
It's a cool little town. Everything's miniature. And what they do, they bring the grade school children, and they teach them safety. How to walk a crosswalk, how to go watch for red lights, and ambulances coming.
It's like they do a lot of elementary school tours, right? I'm pretty sure. Okay, good.
Sounds awesome.
We were talking about that, what was it, a week or 2 ago? 2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks.
About the walkable, like literally a pedestrian got hit in the traffic report while we were talking about it on the air. It's like, dang.
That was sad.
I know, it was crazy. But so there's a lot to be said for the safety part of teaching the younger kids, hey.
That's why they call it Safety Town.
Watch, all it's missing is the crazy drivers, right? Which is what we were talking about.
Now with with your trains, I'm assuming they're also teaching them about train crossings, that kind of stuff as well.
Yes, we will do that from time to time. We will be, probably in February, March, we'll be doing monthly pancake and train rides. Easter egg hunt is a tremendous draw. We take the children out into the woods, and there's hidden Easter eggs, and they get a chance to pick up 10 Easter eggs, and one of the Easter eggs inside has a golden egg, and if you receive the golden egg, you get a big basket.
Oh, wow.
It's exciting.
That sounds like
a lot
fun.
of vendors there.
So you help mostly with the railroad and building that?
Yes.
How long did that take you to build it?
We have been in there 18 months, and we're up to almost 3/4 of a mile right now.
So are you continuing to build the train?
So someday it will be 5 miles. You'll be able to get on a train. There's a restaurant that we're going to be able to get to, a station, so you can get off the train and go into a restaurant, get back on a train, and come back.
Is that in Safety Town or is that nearby?
That is in Safety Town, but the railroad will go approximately 5 miles to get to this restaurant.
How fast do these trains go? Like, that sounds, how long is that, a 5 mile
During
trip?
the venues, we run about 3 to 4 miles per hour.
It's not the high-speed
It can
rail.
go 20 miles an hour.
Wow.
So
Kind of
like
like those
an hour.
scooters downtown, you know?
So it can be like anywhere from a 5 to an hour long ride.
Today, you can get a 10-minute ride. At Christmas, we're going to open up a new phase, and it'll be about a 20-minute ride.
Nice.
The holidays, that kind of seems to be like people really like it. Do you do any of the oh my gosh,
You
the
got
movie
it.
with the
Use
train?
your words.
Polar Express. Yes. Do you do any type of Polar Express?
Yes,
commuter?
we don't call it Polar Express. It's a different name at Christmas time, but we'll have Santa Claus there, and you'll get a 5 minutes with Santa Claus if you like. And we have games, and we're putting in a new little miniature track for the children 3 to 7 years old that they can pedal or use their hands by
That sounds like
themselves.
fun. Do you do any private events?
It's a event that will happen Good Friday and Saturday before Easter.
Okay.
I'm trying to picture this train in my head. How big is this train?
Is it a mini train?
The engine is about 12 feet long. It's
a train
18
train.
inches tall, and it's 18 inches wide. The riding cars will accommodate 4 adults or 2 adults and 3 children.
So adults can ride it too. I was
Oh,
thinking it was just for
absolutely.
kids.
Well, we get a lot of adults riding the train.
So similar in size to, say, the train on Thunder Mountain.
About the same size. It's 7.5 gauge, so the tracks are 7.5 inches apart. It's 1.6 to scale to a real engine.
So are you literally doing everything from overseeing people to helping build it, or what all is your role
We
in it?
don't build the engines, we purchase the engines.
But I mean the tracks and
Yes,
all
we
that
start
stuff.
from
Okay.
scratch. We take the property, we survey where we're going to go. If there's a few trees in the way, we take the trees out. We put in a base of 4 inches of crushed concrete, and we build these panels. They're 10 foot long, of aluminum and plastic, and they're set in place, and you start bolting them together, and before you know it, you get a full train.
Wow. So Pat, do we have all of our winners for the tickets?
Yes, you do, and Adam should have all the information with him.
Yeah, he just handed it to me. That's why I'm
Wow,
checking.
hieroglyphics?
What? What did you
It's
read?
like hieroglyphics.
What, his handwriting?
Yeah.
Were you a doctor in a past life, Pat? That handwriting? I know you are.
So wait, did
Doctor
we
of
have?
Fun.
Is that Egg McMuffin or Krispy Kreme jelly on the paper with the winners?
Did we give away
Calls
the two?
you off stage.
Did we do the 2 4-packs, or do we still have the pair available? Because what I'm looking at is like we have 2 winners for Spookathon, or 1?
Yes, we
I
have 2
mean,
winners.
or 3. Okay, so we still have a pair,
Yeah.
right?
Every one of
Okay.
these are a pair, so it'd be 2 adults or adult and a
Okay.
child.
So we have 1 more pair. The
Yeah.
Spookathon we are going to give out. So you can give us a call, 888-404-1010. You will get the last pair
Certificate looks.
for Spookathon, 888-404-1010. Thank you so much, Mr. Bill. We really appreciate that. And have some fun on the railroad here at Spookathon. We'll be back. This is Tampa Home Talk. Stick around right after the break. We're going to have some fun with our guests, talk a little bit about their favorite time for Halloween and what they love most. We'll be back in just a minute.
Oh, good morning.
And I'm surprised how Pat has no scary music.
Yeah, I know. It's all been, well, this music's pretty scary.
Usually he plays like the Monster Mash or something.
He'll do that for second hour.
He must be asleep over there.
Yeah.
No. He's writing hieroglyphics. He's like mummified.
Power picking on you. You're not even defending yourself.
Nope.
Okay, he's clearly.
He's in donut mode. He has a Krispy Kreme.
He's already on his way to Vallarta's.
Yeah.
Not yet. He's got a little time. All right. So, Jill, I know you were saying before the show that Halloween is your absolute favorite time of year, but Tell me what else? What's your favorite part about Halloween? Well, what's your favorite part about doing these things? I want to hear from both of you.
I love Halloween because there are so many ways to celebrate it. So if, like you're not into the scary movies, that's okay. You've got stuff like the fall festivals and haunted train rides and these amazing haunted trails that are a little less spooky and a little more just seasonal. If you're more into the real ghosts, as because there's a difference between a ghost tour and a haunted house, or there should be.
Yeah.
And if you're going to a haunted house, if you're going to some of the events that you're talking about here, they are made to scare you. Things are going to jump out. There are things planned. If you're going to a ghost tour, nothing may happen. But you're still going to hear the amazing history of a place and all the things that have happened there. If you want to celebrate it as a family, you can. If you want to celebrate it with blood and guts and gore, you can. There's just so many different elements, and that's why it's a $5 billion a year industry.
When you guys have done these ghost tours, have you had anything wild happen, like any lights flicker or anything like that?
None of our ghosts tend to be light flickerers.
That was just an example, but it could be anything.
If
right?
your lights are flickering, you need to call Leo.
Yeah, exactly. A 93-year-old
Be water in your electrical
But no, one of our most popular ghost stories is that of Fink Finley, who was our projectionist from 1930 to 1965. Now, first of all, people tend to believe that when you're the most haunted building in town, that you've probably had people dying left and right all over your building. You must have people dying all the time. Not true. We've actually only had one death in the building in 93 years, and Fink Finley is not one of them. He died at home. But the fact that he worked in the building for 35 years, 6 days a week, he tends to still come to work 6 days a week and help out around the theater, and he manifests as smells. So we
Really?
have a couple of people a month. And keep in mind, we're haunted all year long. We're not just haunted in October. That's not how that works. But about once or twice a month, we will get reports from our patrons of smelling lilac up in the balcony. And we tend to believe that that is Fink's aftershave. He used to shave every morning in the building when he got to work. And we have actually had people smell the lilac on the tour.
Now I gotta go.
Right?
I gotta go.
That's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
She's got all the goosebumpies over here.
I know, I do.
She really does.
I do.
Oh my goodness.
It's like 20 degrees.
I was hoping nobody would notice. No, we were just talking about it.
The office park.
We have a great paranormal investigative group that we work with. It is so cool to work in a place that has a paranormal investigative team of record. And I would be happy to hook you up with them if you want them to come up and check out your studio for you.
Yeah, I think we're okay, but
So
sure.
it's like the Tampa version of Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Kind of. They're not necessarily going to get rid of them for you, but they will try to learn a little bit more about them.
What's your favorite part, Bill, about the Halloween time and the Spookathon festivities?
I
and-
just like when the children would come out and they smiles on their faces. Some of them are they look like they're going to be scared. You can see the tears about ready to come, and you try to calm them down. It's not that scary, and I do tell them a few jokes like, how do you fix a broken pumpkin with a pumpkin patch? Why didn't the skeleton come across the road? And it was because he had no guts. And while they're standing in line, I do a lot of that, and that sort of calms them down.
These are Leo style jokes.
These are worse than Leo style jokes.
They're great. You got to think we schedule like 5, 7,
Yeah.
maybe.
What's your favorite Halloween costume that you've gone as?
Me?
Yeah, I think that
I had a Renaissance costume that I did, like a Renaissance with a long dress.
Oh wow,
very
very nice. How about you, Leo?
I really like dressing up as a plague doctor from Assassin's Creed 3, complete with the hidden blade.
Interesting.
How about
Very
you?
specific.
I know, he is very specific. It's the engineer in him. He can't help it. It just comes
I had
out.
to build my own costume, so I loved it.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, for me,
Yeah.
oh man, there's been so many good ones, but he was talking about being 5 or 6, and I think I was a Power Ranger like 3 years in a row back then. There's a picture of me like this in a Power Ranger. Like we went through my grandmother's old photos, and there's one of me like this from Halloween. I had to be like 5 or 6.
So I'll tell you the coolest costumes, really, truly, I've ever seen. It was one that my dad did when I was a kid. So this was probably somewhere in the 80s, like I'm thinking mid-late 80s. He made a costume that was a spacesuit. And so he literally had air conditioner ducts or something, and he sprayed the whole thing silver.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
it literally looked like a spacesuit.
I went as a spaceman, but it was definitely the cheapo one that you can get.
No. This was
Yeah, no,
it
that
just
sounds
looked really
awesome.
good. Yeah, it was, and I can't remember what the mask was like, but somehow they got that finagled as well. And that was one of the ones that sticks out the most in my mind as being the most creative, coolest
Yeah, that's awesome.
ones. And then you see the couple showing up wearing like the Jack and Coke or.
Yeah, no, we have some of my wife and I's best friends. They go all out for Halloween, and last year they went as John Travolta and Samuel Jackson's characters from Pulp Fiction, and they nailed it. They looked
Oh my
so
God,
great.
that's
It's
awesome.
hilarious.
So I have seen that movie, so I do know what you're talking about. This is the part where you guys usually pick on me. It's fine.
That's okay. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen the movie.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That meant me, because I'd never watched TV.
Many
I've
movies,
watched
yeah,
movies.
yeah.
The running joke is every time they make a movie reference, Katrina has no idea what they're talking about.
We'll get you there. We have like 18
I was gonna
opportunities to
say, we can help you with
expand your catalog here.
I'm going to see one, for sure. Committed to that next week. That'll be fun.
You should see Seven or Zodiac. Those are good.
7 would be awesome.
Are they, is it that
Yes.
scary?
More thrillers.
It's more of a thriller.
Definitely.
I did see a Halloween movie last year. I can't remember the name of it.
Probably Halloween Town. since you have
No,
kids.
it was, I
Hotel
remember,
Transylvania?
no, it was.
Good movie though. I love
It was
that
about
movie.
these movies they found in the attic, and the family was like killing themselves. And anyway, it just
Oh,
kept
that sounds-
happening.
sounds
I don't
pretty
remember the
scary.
name of the movie. I know. Can you believe I watched something like that?
Yeah.
It's so hard to believe.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I did actually. Sinister. That was it. Sinister. I think there's a second one that came out. I didn't see the second one. Only the first one.
That's awesome.
All right. This is Tampa Home Talk. Thank you guys for joining me. Both of you very much. Thanks for coming.
Our pleasure.
Thanks for bringing tickets. We appreciate hearing your stories. We also want to invite you out to our fall festival this evening. Just call or text fall to 813-377-2775. 813-377-2775. Stick around. Hour number 2 of spooky Halloween attractions coming up here on Tampa Home Talk. And then next week, Ray Hall's going to be on. And this led back to something Papa and Gype said about, do you have to disclose if someone dies in the house? You're going to have to stick around next week to hear all the details on that. So you're listening to Tampa Home Talk. Thanks so much for joining us this week. Remember, love where you live or we're going to fix it. Welcome home. Bye for now.